2, 1, go.
Hi, okay. So when I said that, I'm not doing it. Okay, so you're a biology major. What sparked your interest in biology?
I think my interest in biology comes from a culmination of a lot of different events. In elementary school, we had a lot of National Geographic type kits, so we were dissecting an owl pellet, and that was really fascinating to me. We had basic introduction to kind of geology and different substrates and stuff like that. And I was fortunate that my school did have a lot of resources in the sciences, and over the course of several years, probably up until high school, I just became more and more interested in biology and animals and the humans and other different systems.
Right on. Very cool. So do you look at math as a tool for biology?
Definitely. I think math is a really important tool to make sense of all of our biological data, whether it's qualitative, quantitative, and kind of present it in a way that is easy for the other audiences to understand. It also helps us kind of coordinate different studies and look at some similarities across different disciplines within the biology realm. And there's a lot of things that you can do with it, and it kind of helps make the biological studies limitless, I think. This has been fun.
That's awesome. So you seem to have a very positive outlook on math. Are there any reasons that maybe you feel that way?
Well, my mom is a mechanical engineer, and so she kind of sparked my fascination in math at a really young age, and I excelled in math up until college, actually. It was the first time that I really struggled. I received rewards in my math classes and whatnot in high school, and for both geometry and algebra too, and so I was always really proud of challenging myself in those accomplishments. But I didn't take math after high school until my sophomore year, so I kind of had a year off. And when I was taking my Calc 2 class here at Radford, there was a lot of disconnect or just things that I didn't remember from my first Calc class. And so I really struggled, and I was always trying to refer to the book and try to catch up. But I was trailing the whole semester, and I actually ended up dropping the class because I never felt like I got a good grasp on it. And I kick myself now because when I was an undergraduate, I didn't seek out help from professors. You know, I grew up doing things by myself, and I took a lot of pride in that. And so going back now, I wish I would have taken advantage of that opportunity and just kind of try to get some tutoring or whatnot, but I didn't, and so I never really fulfilled that.
So you still have a positive outlook on math, even considering your kind of trouble that you had at the beginning. So do you think, how do you think that made you, oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
So you had a tough time with math, Calculus 2.
Yeah.
Did you take it again?
So my parents actually signed me up because they thought it was required for med school, so they actually signed me up for summer school at the community college, which was a accelerated Calc 2 and Calc 3 in like 8 weeks. It was awful, and it was online.
Ooh.
And I was also taking that at the same time that I was taking a political science course over the summer, and it was way too much, and I actually ended up dropping out of the Calc course again. And so, or just not dropping out, but just withdrawing from it. I wasn't failing. I actually hadn't even taken the first exam in that class, but it was so much, and it really just became a mental block. And that's something that's really stuck with me, and it has definitely diminished my confidence in math that I used to have, and even kind of the enjoyment. Now it doesn't matter what kind of mathematical thing is on the board. I'm apprehensive, you know. It's like, am I going to be able to handle this? And because it's something I never overcame, it is hard, and I think it has kind of spilled over into other aspects of math that I was really confident in and continue to be good at, but my attitude is a little more reserved in math. I'm not the same go-get-'em personality that I used to be in that field.
Interesting. Okay, so do you think math will be important to you for your future?
Definitely. I've been really fortunate to get some exposure through Dr. Fleming Davies. We've done research, and I didn't realize at first that my career aspiration is to be an epidemiologist, and I didn't realize how heavily associated math was in that field. There's a lot of modeling, there's a lot of statistics, and it's been really eye-opening to see that they're so like together, biology and math, and because that is what I would like to do. There's definitely going to be applications for math in my career. Yeah.
Okay, so you said your confidence is maybe down a little bit towards
Mhm.
math, and your attitude maybe isn't exactly where you want it to be. So how
Yeah.
do you feel like? How do you plan on overcoming that?
Yeah, definitely repetition. I think the best way to get a grasp of math is just through repetition, doing things over and over again, and practice, not giving up, and not being afraid to ask for help if you need it.
Cool. So have you ever come across like that attitude where people are like you're good at math or like you're bad at math? Like there's no real in between or like
Yeah.
no like growth there. Like how do you
Um,
those experiences?
well, growing up, I did excel in math, and so I did have a lot of recognition from teachers that I was doing well, performing well in those classes. And then when I took the class here, I really didn't get any feedback, and I think maybe it was because I wasn't the only one struggling. But I never was kind of chipped away at by a professor, which was really nice. Even if I was struggling in that class for Calc 2, he was never demeaning or would call some of the bottom feeders out, which I really appreciated.
Cool. So your positive moments were in high school. College. Positives. Talked about how you're gonna overcome. There's confidence and everything. How important math is really important. Okay, so why do you think math is valued?
Oh man. I think math is valued because there are a lot of applications for it. It also kind of helps make things uniform. So if psychologists are doing a study, biologists are doing a study, and they all have a similar or just a statistical analysis that people from any different discipline can understand, I think that helps a lot. And it helps for interpretation and I think organization too of what your results are.
Cool. So outside of science, how do you think math is valued?
You mean like what people's attitudes are for math?
Not
or?
necessarily. You kind of brushed on
Yeah.
why math is valuable in science because it
Mhm.
helps convey results.
Yeah.
But for people who aren't scientists, maybe why would it be important to them? Or people who aren't interested in science or math, why should they value math?
Well, at the most basic level, math is apparent in our daily lives. But beyond, I think even if you're not from a scientific background, math kind of helps make everything uniform again. And it helps people to interpret what you're doing, whatnot. So graphs and analyses and whatnot make it easier for people to understand. It's a visual representation, I guess. That's
Cool.
yeah.
I think that's all the questions on here. Do you have any, Dr. Weber?
I think you kind of touched on it.
Mhm.
I'll ask the question and you can answer if you can.
Okay.
Your eyes are in the right place. So you had a struggle or two in the math course,
Mhm.
and then you started this project, your research project.
Yeah.
And maybe you could just touch on that, going from learning about math kind of theoretically or from
Yep.
textbook to
Yep.
really using it and applying it for your own work. And
Yeah.
how that changed.
Okay.
Or how it changed your attitude or your approach.
Yeah, yeah. So the math that I was exposed to in the classroom was a lot different than what I'm doing for research. I'm doing, yeah, I'm doing more like theoretical work. So we're simulating something using differential equations, but we're not actually solving for them. And so that's been really fascinating because you're able to use math in this way that models biological functions and things that happen, and that's real life simulations, and that's been really cool. And so that's something that I'm super interested in and passionate about. So I definitely would like to keep using math in that aspect, and it's been a different perspective, and it's really neat. Yeah.
Cool. That was a really good response.
Yeah.
You got all that.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. Because I never took stats. Because most people would take stat in high school instead of calc, and I took calc. But so after my experience with calc 2, I was really nervous with stat actually, but it was more manageable. I enjoyed it. A lot. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Are we
One,
done?
one more?
Yeah. Okay.
And I think you touched on this again, but just kind of ask this same question. So I'll ask it and then you can answer it again. But what does it feel like when you're in class and the professor starts writing a new equation on the board?
Yeah.